Beautiful. Okay, so welcome into the space. Thank you for joining today. We have a beautiful panel of amazing beings that are here to share their wisdom, to share their enthusiasm about cacao. And my name is Alexandra Gabrielle. I am the creator and founder of Conversations with Cacao. And we're just going to start off the space together by making sure that we come together in a good way, making sure we come together from our heart, because we're working with this heart medicine, this plant medicine, to really activate its full potential. So that requires quieting the mind, coming into a receptive space, and just closing our eyes as we begin to breathe, preparing our energy, preparing the openness as Masha guides us into a beautiful heart opening meditation and introduction here. Take it away.
Thank you, Alexandra. So to continue this kind of bringing our awareness inward a little bit and starting to feel yourself on the seat and whatever it is that you're sitting on, and noticing yourself in this moment and how you feel, how you're coming in today. And taking 3 conscious deep breaths for a reset in through the nose, out through the mouth. 2 more like that. Letting go anything from inside that you want to release. And bring your awareness outside to the furthest you're hearing. Let it expand as far as you can hear. Maybe there's some birds out there, cars driving. And bringing your hearing closer into the room or in the space around you. And bringing your hearing to your own self. Maybe you can hear your breathing or your heart beating. And taking a moment to feel your body again while also containing the hearing all around you. And tuning into your breath. And tuning into the natural rise and fall of your lungs. And tuning into that heart space. It's right there in the center of your chest. And taking a moment and be placing your hand on your heart. And saying to yourself, this is me, I am here. And connecting to this moment in time with your heart, with yourself. Connecting to all the hearts around us in this screen room today. Connecting to the hearts of all the people around us in our lives. Connecting to all the hearts on our land and all the hearts throughout the entire world. And taking one more breath to deepen into the heart. And I will pass it on. 2,
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anjali, thank you so much, Masha, for that beautiful meditation. And Anjali is going to guide us in a blessing of cacao. So if you have your cacao with you here today, I open up this space for you. Perfect. To receive the blessings, beaming in all the way from Guatemala. So much energy around this world, around this globe, connecting at this point in time.
Hi, everyone. Welcome and thank you. Thanks again for the embelezana. So if you have your cacaocito, ish cacao, you're going to hold it to her heart. We bless this medicine as it blesses us. Honored to have it in front of us from wherever it was grown, but from the hands of those who cultivated her, who grew her, who caretake her, who work with the land directly, who make sure that this gets blessed in every step of the way, all the way to the hands that peel her seeds and roast her through the fire, making its way all the way to our hands here. Ish cacao, ishkik, ishmukane, ishkanil, ishkanil, kanil, the seed. We just finished this cycle of the seed. It's a new cycle, so it's beautiful to be in complete symbiosis with earth, having this ceremony, this honor to let cacao guide us. Her information, may we be able to listen and receive what it is she wants to show us, heal us, and help us. From the lands of Guatemala, from Atitia, the heart of the sky, the heart of the waters, the heart of the earth, the heart of the winds. Maltiosh, to Cacao and to you for being here and present. And thank you for being a steward and working with this beautiful medicine. She's the teacher. And so blessings for you. Thank you, Maltiosh, Mama Cacao. Enjoy your cacao. Spirit of cacao. And we give a little bit to the spirit of cacao just to bring her in and honor her as the guest of honor. So, Maltiosh, thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you. I love that idea of welcoming her in as the guest of honor and opening the space even more. Marlon is going to share his voice and Icaro to open the space into deeper communion here.
Wow. Conversado con una estrella, ella me ha dicho quién soy yo. He conversado con una estrella, ella me ha dicho quién soy yo. que yo soy el universo, la infinita creación, que yo soy esa energía que la nada se formó, que yo soy el movimiento, la infinita creación, que yo soy esa energía que de la nada se formó. Oh, no. Oh, oh.
Thank you very much for receiving all of that energy and the vibrations. And as we begin to sip our cup and commune in with this, Paola is going to share a little bit about the magic that is in our cup, the process from bean to bar.
Hello, everyone. My name is Paola. Very happy to be here. Thank you, Alexandra, to open up this space, this beautiful space, just to learning from each other, to share our experiences with cacao, with this magical medicine that unify ourselves today. So thank you so much for everybody taking the time to be here and listening what we have to say and what we have to share. So yeah, first of all, for people who doesn't know, about cacao plants, how you receive this cacao, this medicine in your hands, comes from a plant with a beautiful tree, with this amazing fruit, the fruit that I collect this morning from our garden, came to give us amazing teachings. So when we collect this beautiful fruit, we do it in a very nice way. But before collecting this, we have a story in this place that we share with Marlon. It's about how we take care of the soil, how we take care of the seeds, the process, how we plant it. And this is something that he can explain a little bit more in detail later because he's an expert. But for me, in the process of the processing the cacao, when I receive this beautiful fruit in my kitchen table, we have a big table where we collect all the fruits by hand in a beautiful food forest. We take the opportunity just to connect with the fruit and to select manually each fruit, sometimes for size, sometimes in different colors. When we have these processes of selecting the pots, with so much respect, we open the pot and we see these amazing beans. These are the beans of cacao that are surrounded by this amazing, beautiful, and sweet nectar. Also, you can see here bees around. I don't know if you see it, but the bees are just sucking the juices, and nature is right there, in contact with the fruit all the time. So when we have this fruit open, we take manually all the seeds, we separate each bean in a big bowl. These beans in the pot are connecting through an umbilical cord, I wanted to call it. Some people call it the placenta. And it's really beautiful because it's like the plant is giving you the babies, the little seeds for you just to start the process of connecting with them. And when I receive them on my table, my lab, I call it, I make a special ceremony because I put this amazing music of vibration, and I start separating hand by hand, by one, the beans, and giving them a massage, talking to them, activating them. And it's really beautiful how the sweetness, the air, the aromas, everything is coming to you, and you start connecting with the nature and all the process that it came the seeds when we planted. So it's really, really beautiful. Once we got these beans separate, it's time for fermenting the seeds. When we ferment the seeds, the process is very important because you develop some flavors, especially specific flavors that develop the cacao taste, and also you see how the cacao is kind of cooking itself. This process of fermentation, it takes like between 5 to 7 days to happen. So since the moment that you put it fermented, every day you had to move it several times a day, taking temperatures. It's very, very personal. It's very intimate, the contact that we have with the cacao. So after 7 days, when the cacao is ready for drying, we place our cacao in this amazing place that we have in a cover. And the drying is happen natural with the sun. And also takes also 5 to 7 days, depending on weather conditions, for you to have an amazing dry bean, like I'm showing you here. This is the cacao beans. I don't know if you see it. I don't know if you're familiar with it. When we have our dry cacao, we light a fire. We light up, we call it ceremonial fire. When we roast it by hand, the cacao, we're taking our time. And it's very magical because it's a time when the cacao starts like talking to you. It's when the cracking happens. The cracking of the shell is cracking and it's talking to you. And in that moment, it's like yeah, it's telling you, I'm ready, you know, I'm here, I'm still alive. I think, you know, giving you my best. So it's a very, very intimate conversation. And also the conversation happens during the fermentation through the temperature changes, during the drying time when you take the cacao in your hands and you put in your ear and you kind of press it and you hear like this is ready to take it out from the dryer. And it's really, really a beautiful conversation that has been lasting since we take the beans out until drying. In 2 weeks, you're there every day working with the cacao every day. And it's a really, really nice connection that we create with it. And when we have these beautiful beans dry out and toasted, roasted, we start to peel them. So we take all the peels. And this peel, the husk, also have other purposes that we use here in the farm. And we obtain these amazing nibs, cacao nibs. These cacao nibs are ready to be grounded. We put it in a miller, in a stone miller. So when it's there for a couple hours, also checking the temperature, checking the moisture, taking the texture, feeling the aromas, and also it's telling you when it's ready. You start feeling, you know, the cacao butter separating, the shining coming out. And this is the process when it's ready to mold and to prepare this amazing ceremonial cacao. Yeah, and from there, I'm very grateful to be working with cacao because, you know, it not only have the opportunity to produce a really amazing product like this ceremonial cacao from this land, but also the creativity that come out when all the process that we're doing, because from fermentation is not only the cacao that we fermenting, we have other products coming out, the juices of the cacao, that we create an amazing juice or wine. When you peel it, we have this husk that we make an amazing tea product with the shell, this amazing shell, we make our compost. And sometimes we make these amazing cups that we dry our cacao with, we put it to dry. So it's very versatile. So I'm very happy. It's the part that I really love to work with, the creativity of working with the different aspects and different process of the cacao. And yeah, I'm really, really happy just to share that with you today. And yeah, if you have any other questions, English is my second language, so if you don't understand something, I can repeat it, no problem. Or yeah, thank you.
Amazing. Thank you so much for that insight and that beautiful exploration. And Katie, as the cacao is working through our bodies now, would you give us some insight into the health benefits and your area of specialty, specialties? Yeah, you know what word I'm going for. It's not coming out right.
Yes. Oh my gosh. It's just as you said that, my whole body is like already buzzing from this cacao. And I'm actually drinking Cacao Labs cacao, which is the cacao that I was drinking back when we met at the in the cacao ceremonies online. So the cacao is such a beautiful healing plant. And as you are all drinking cacao, I just invite you to tap into what that feels like in your body. And just notice if you start to feel warmth going through your body and your skin, and the vessels opening up and starting to dilate, and the heart maybe buzzing a little bit with this energy, this excitement. And physiologically, what's happening in our bodies when we drink cacao is there's a compound called theobromine, and it's a cousin to caffeine. And so caffeine will get you into your head space, and theobromine will get you into your heart space. And so what that's doing energetically as well is helping to open up our hearts so we can continue to let those barriers down, those walls that we've set against ourselves, so we can share and receive wisdom with each other. And so also on a health perspective, other than just opening up your heart to sharing and receiving love and how healing that is, it's helping to increase blood flow, like I mentioned, throughout the body, and so helps with giving oxygen and different things to your cells. And cacao is also very high in antioxidants, and antioxidants are very protective for your cells, and they also help to cancel out or reverse damage of free radicals, which can happen from different environmental toxins and stress, different medications or other things that we might have been exposed to, or certain preservatives or food products. And so it's very healing. It's also great for the brain. Brain health is important as well. And it's also full of magnesium. And so magnesium is very grounding, very relaxing, and also helps to relax and help with recovery from exercise in our muscles and things like that. Reduces anxiety. So on and so forth. So that's a little bit about the health benefits of cacao. So I invite you as well throughout this call to really pay attention to, again, how you're feeling, and just keeping that in the back of your mind or in your heart. And also just understanding that everything that we consume, whether that be food, water, conversation, thoughts, like anything that we're consuming becomes part of who we are. And so every time we drink this cup of cacao, it is literally changing our chemistry in our body, and it's altering our cellular reproduction. And so just paying attention to honor that we are consuming something that is going to help our physical health, our mental health, and our energetic, emotional health.
Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing. I love having the visual and also just deepening the understanding when we're drinking cacao. It's like, and then imagining the physiological effects in the body, just it anchors it all in another dimension. So thank you for creating this beautiful opening of the space together. I would love for our guests to just have a brief intro. I know we felt them, we heard their voices even before we opened the space now, but I would love if for some people maybe haven't heard some of the episodes that you've shared. If you haven't, definitely go back and listen, because they're all amazing. They're all gems. They're all packed with like beautiful, beautiful insights. But I would love to start with you, Masha, if you just share a little bit about yourself, your journey, and your relationship to cacao. Yeah.
Sure. I'm really feeling mama right now. Feels really good. So it's awesome to be around all of you and with all these different experiences and different backgrounds. So I was a New Yorker, like in the city, graphic designer for almost 20 years. That was like a whole different trajectory. And then don't know, like 7 years ago now, I had one heartbreak too many that led me into a spiritual awakening. So originally I was born in Russia. I'm a Russian Jew. I never had spirituality like really be a part of my life, except like the religious, stuff that I kind of learned about, and family traditions. And so I went through a whole healing process and completely transformed my life. And through that process, I discovered that like I always felt like I had a bigger purpose in the world. And in this instance, like I found it. It's what I'm doing now. Right. And so I had this vision just before of like kind of like a sword just cut through all this stuff, and clear and heal so that I could help other people do the same thing. And so that's what I do now. I'm constantly still evolving my practice as I gain more wisdom and love learning. So I'm really about embodied transformation, and cacao, as we might know, some of us, that is an embodiment medicine, right? It brings you into your body. So I love having cacao, not only in the workshops that I hold. I do cacao ceremonies with my partner Tiger, who's actually on the call. Maybe he'll do a little, you can wave. And so, yeah, I love working with cacao with clients and having them drink it before a somatic healing session, for example, because it's such a resource and it helps like go deeper, and cacao just like really opens things up and shows things that I can't necessarily, um, I'm the way I work is I let people discover for themselves like what's there. I just have the tools to help you uncover it. And so I work with somatic healing. I do now family constellations, which is like ancestral trauma, childhood stuff, like um, and an astrology. I'm actually officially now calling myself an astrologer. That's like the newest kind of up level that I just had. And I'm really deep in that because it was like a missing piece for me of like really helping people uncover their path and uncover who they truly are. And so all of this is starting to really even more and more every day like form itself. And yeah, it's helping people see the unseen and really go for align themselves with their heart, with their path. And it really comes down to knowing how to walk your path and learning how to make decisions and like listening to your full embodied experience. So the thing I want to teach people is just how to live embodied lives. And so cacao entered my life 4 years ago, and it happened quick, right? I was drinking and connecting with it for about a year, and then after a year, I just like really heard the call from cacao to share her in circle with other people, and that was the start of the last 3 years. Cacao had been like, I guess, like a vessel for her, to share, spread her wisdom, and it's been amazing. I overheard someone say that when you start to drink cacao, get ready to live your life. And I think that's like what happened, and what happens. And so I love cacao for the soul aligning purpose that it gives. And yeah, so much more I could say. You can listen to the podcast, obviously. Um, Yeah, and plant medicine has been a long time on my path. Cacao was one of the first times that I really felt like, oh, I can hear her, so that was pretty kind of really revolutionary for me. So yeah, the plants are connecting now with me more in other plants, and so yeah, I think I'll leave it there. Yeah. I'll share again at the end, but we next weekend actually Tiger and I are having our first retreat where we're combining cacao with family constellations together, and it's just like a weekend, and it's gonna be so fun, and we're so excited. Yeah.
Oh, so fun. Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing. Yeah, that's a powerful combo, those two together. Thank you so much for sharing your journey. And I'm going to ask Anjali if you wouldn't mind sharing a little bit about yourself and your journey. Here we go. Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, thank you. Thanks for sharing. And yes, my journey started in Las Vegas. Not really, but through Apache family and the underground music scene. Um, the the wanting of reclamation of roots because my mother's Mexican and my father's Guatemalan. So I came in search of my roots in 2012, and being bilingual and a musician as well, I was able to find the Mayan ceremonies and the elders. And there was like a need for bridging with language, bilingual, uh, bringing people of different worlds to understand really the poetry that was being said from the elders. And so in this way, I was invited and I began to just, I was called to be in service. And I felt really blessed and honored to connect to that, what still exists, what still existed, and begin a journey of healing and learning, learning deeper what's happened in Mesoamerica, Central America. And still I left, but Guatemala called me back 4 years later, like, come back. And cacao somehow, a lot of people will say this, but it chooses you. And just from having a connection to the family that processes the cacao that I worked with, loving the elder, wanting to be in service, I would simply get cacao for people. And also then people started to want to learn, how do I do this? Am I supposed to do it in a Mayan ceremonial way? Can we do this? Is this allowed? Can you ask the family? So then I became this bridge of communication to just make sure that everything was okay with the family. And I watched the New Age movement grow in San Marcos, Atitlán, Guatemala. Back then, 2015, it really started blowing up. And people were starting to come. I want cacao. Who's teaching cacao? And there was only really two elders, Tato Pedro, that allowed international people to come to ceremonies, and Keith, the shaman, the the cacao shaman, as he would call it. And really people would come to find him and work with cacao and all kinds of things. And so I watched it and I was asked, can you bring the elder? Will you translate? Will you sing? Will you organize? Will you be my helper? Because we need one Guatemalan girl and everything. Yes, the chocolate shaman. Yes, may they both rest in peace. They were elders, much respect. They did so much, really. I think they both mutually respected each other. And I have to say, at first, Tata Pedro was closed to sharing cacao. And through my journey over the last 10 years, eventually I started to work with a professional distributor and make the processing, the bags, the vacuum bags, the product manage the family. So I felt like, oh, but just being a bridge of communication, making their cacao better. Now we're testing cacao. Now we're helping the elders who had lost their connection to cacao, rescue and then receive the respect of cacao, just watching this movement. And I'm here and I get to go to like Ruku Shulei's project and see the presentations and see how they create it, like the little Mayan Charlie and the Chocolate Factory beautiful project. I got to see Lava Love get created. I actually had the house before Lava Love and wrote a poem for cacao on that wall and had one of the elders bless that house as a fire. I think that we planted the seeds for it to become what it is now. So now people come and they're having ceremony all the time there. But he really, he was also a student of Keith and learned English. And so he's one of the only caciqueles in San Marcos that is sharing ceremonies as an akik and having relationship with cacao, because he first served cacao processing and then became an akik. And today I really work a lot with Soul Lift, and I love his work because he wants to bring cacao and spirituality and kind of be transparent in all ways to bring it to regular people that are living, you know, in the matrix or the routine or the la vida normal, and bring a spirituality that's attainable. And we have been doing so much work in really researching and investigating what's real, how to move forward with the New Age movement, and what's traditional and what's okay and all of this. So you can hear the podcast where we get really deep into working with cacao. You absolutely do not have to know anything about the Mayan calendar. You don't have to know, you don't have to pretend to be a Mayan akik shaman, because that's not the way we respect them. The ones that really, really are walking that path. You know, I watch them go and do ceremonies at 6 a.m. every single day, some of them. It's a real path, you know, so we want to respect that. But then we're also helping rescuing what was real. And in the ancient times, before the second colonization of the USA to between the Soviet and the guerrilla war that happened here, a lot was lost and a lot was in place with evangelism to separate the people. Yeah. And so just learning about the cups. And this is a new project we're starting with artists here. We're making cups. The cups that were found in the 17th century have all the story of cacao on the cup. It's really, really very interesting. And there's so much and I could keep going, but that's basically it. Thank you. I'll stop there.
Oh, amazing. Thank you so, so much for sharing all of that. So, so rich in your whole bridge, all the work that you do. Yeah, thank you for the path that you walk and being here and sharing your voice today.
Thanks for having me.
Mm. And I would love for Marlon and Paola for you to introduce yourselves a little bit more here. Let me see if I can spotlight you. Go on. Okay. There we go.
Hello, everybody, again. Thank you, Alexandra. Wow, beautiful to hear about everybody's journey. It's really nice. Well, my name is Paola Barrientos. I am from Argentina, from Buenos Aires. I traveled the world for a while. Just to the curiosity of learning about culinary arts, transformation, learning about different cultures through food. That brought me to the US, Mexico, India. Yeah, that was very amazing journey. So back 10 years ago, 12 years ago, we moved back to Colombia, where Marlon is from. And we started this beautiful, amazing project here in the mountains of Santander. And it's called Akasha Permaculture School. And it's a place where we share with people. We can say it's a school, but actually we share, and we are open also to learn from people. We have more than 1,000 people from all over the world visiting us and spending time with us. And little by little, we were getting ourselves more connected with the cacao. The first harvest we have here, without being living here, was a cacao harvest. We have a hole, and that hole was full of cacao pods. That was the welcoming for us in this land. And I was doing a year of internship in Mexico, learning about cacao plantation, cacao process. And I really feel connected, and very organically, the energy brought us here. My curiosity, and also the the energy that we wanted to do something different that we were doing before, doing something more connected with the land, where we can create in our own space. And yeah, and it happens organically, and little by little we were learning about the energy of the land, learning about and applying the permaculture processes, and sharing. So what we do here and what I do here is, at the moment is taking care of the place. I'm a guardian here, enjoying every day, waking up, seeing the plants grow, plan ahead, future plantations, planting, taking care of it, being here pretty much. And magically, the cacao project that we are working more seriously this year, give us the opportunity just to bring this amazing product, Akasha Cacao, to the world. Is the way that we put our hard work, our love, and everyday effort that we do to be present and be connecting what we do is in the cacao. So we're very happy and very proud of this amazing product that we have, and amazing medicine. It's not a product, it's a medicine, it's part of us. So I feel really, really happy in this place also. When it's about creativity, we dance cacao, we drink cacao, we take care of the plant, we take care of the seeds, we share with people, we do sometimes circles, we open a space for people and do circles here. We have a beautiful ceremonial space behind us in the Maloca ceremonial house right there, and lighting the fire and sharing music. And the cacao is excuse just to know each other, to connect with people more deeply, and just to feel ourselves more human, and have a space also just to reconnect with ourselves, and reconnect with others, building community, trying to expand a little bit with our neighbors, trying to bring the seed of also more conscious in the how to take care of nature, how to have the more conscious way of taking care of nature. Is what we do here. So I'm really glad just to, it's non-stop work, it's every day, just to get up very early with the sun and go to bed very tired and happy, and facing sometimes the challenge because it's not easy, it's not an easy path, but it's very fulfilling. All the abundance and all the really, really deep connections that we build with people through the work that we do. So yeah, thank you. And in this way we met Alexa, so I'm really happy also just to have the opportunity just to connect with you.
Bueno, I guess it's me. Hola, hola. I'm so glad to see everybody, to see the Cacao tribe all over the world. This is really cool, really exciting. I'm not so used to, these online things, but it's just quite nice. I'm nervous. I'm sorry. And but yeah, it's been an amazing journey. And what I can see when I listen to the stories of you guys and the people that come here, it seems to me like it doesn't matter where we come from. We all go through the same thing, It doesn't matter if you're from Asia or Europe or the States. We just feel this emptiness, this void inside of us, and we just want to find peace, to find our service, to find our place where we can plant our roots and grow and offer a beautiful service, to the world, to the people around us, and just be happy, and to share that happiness with everybody. So I'm in the same journey. Yeah, and so I feel connected to all of you guys. It seems like the cacao chooses us, like, we heard already. And that's been our relationship. It's been our medicine, that change us and that allow us to grow and to learn, and allow us to learn how to be humans. I was telling Alexandra in our podcast, like sometimes I remember reading that book, the Paulo Coelho,
Alchemy.
the alchemist, el alquimista. You know, when these guys just goes far away looking for treasure, looking, you know, to find their happiness. And then when it gets there, it realizes that no, you have to go back to your land and you have to, you know, to find your place there. It's right there. And I guess to me, it was something like that. I'm from Colombia. I was born in these mountains. Yeah, I grew up smelling the fermented cacao in the morning, and my elders, you know, like preparing the cacao in the morning and blessing the chocolate, you know, to give us the strength, to give us the clarity, the wisdom, you know, to live our lives. But it was so common, it was so normal for me, like I just didn't see it, you know. And same with all the other medicines from this place. You know, this is Colombia. This is the land of the of the medicine. You find everything here, you know, from ayahuasca, yopo, ortiga, everything. And but yeah, I had to get lost a little bit. I had to find my way. And so I travel, I went to other places, I learned, and also I had to hit my head many times, you know, against the wall. And finally uh the land called me and the medicines came to me. I had this beautiful, I think I was blessed, you know, for these medicines to come back to me, to open my mind, open my heart, to go deep into myself, to learn about this emotional dimension I didn't know existed, you know, and just to be here where we are right now. This is our home. This is our project. We've been here after, you know, an amazing journey. So have this project that is open to people who just want to learn how to connect with nature, learn about plants, maybe learn about different way of life. And cacao is a very important part of that. We have a beautiful relationship with it. Yeah, it's growing here. And this is what we do. This is what we share. And yeah, so we're just open to anybody who wants to learn. And the people that come here is the people that need, you know, we're all sitting here, not by coincidence, but we have this connection, you know, and I'm so glad to see how the energy of the cacao vibrates and how it spreads and how beautiful it is, because it's very different from all the other medicines. And I talk a little bit about that in the podcast with Alexandra, you know, how different this is from the other ones that we know. And it's just exciting. It's beautiful. We have also a community. We built a community around us, and now we were the first farm around this area, and now there are about 5 to 8 farms also growing. We have our own cacao plantation. We grow it, we take care of it since the very beginning, taking care of the soil. We create our biofertilizers from zero, from scratch, and we see the whole process. And now we have this gift that we share with the world, Akasha Cacao, and yeah, that's our service. So thank you very much. I'll stop there.
Oh, amazing. Thank you both for sharing your journeys. So rich and colorful and just beautiful. I love listening. All the times that I've heard it, it's amazing and delightful. And Katie, if you wouldn't mind sharing a little bit about yourself and your journey, spotlight you here. Yay.
Yay. Hello. Wow, I love how cacao brings so many people together. Like, I think we're all feeling that. We're all resonating with that. And I too agree that cacao finds us when we're ready and when we need the medicine and the energy to work through us. And that's what happened with me as well. A little bit of a backstory about me. So I started in school to study to become a PA. I originally thought I wanted to be a doctor and then learned about the PA profession. And for those of you who don't know about it, because it's not in every country, physician assistant is basically very similar to a doctor, where we prescribe, we diagnose, we treat, and can do procedures as well. And so I had this fascination ever since I was a little kid to learn about the body and to learn about what's going on inside of here. And so I went down the path of learning and studying about it in the traditional or the Western way. And so as I was going through school, I was in biomedical sciences in undergrad and then continued into my master's degree. And when I was in school, I was during COVID actually. And so that was the first year of my PA program, and they said, oh, you're going to be online now for the rest of this semester. And I was in Florida at the time visiting my family and had been in school in Wisconsin. And so I'm down here and I'm with my family, which I was grateful for at the time of so much uncertainty and disconnection from the civilization. But then I found Cacao. And it was online. It was the cacao ceremonies through Cacao Lab. They were doing it virtually almost every single day. And I had never really knew, what this thing was. I loved chocolate. I loved dark chocolate especially, and I always felt good eating it. And it was so delicious. And then I started to go to these cacao ceremonies, and I'm like, what are these people doing? I don't, whatever they're doing, I want to be a part of this because it was awakening something in me that helped to expand what I truly thought about healing to be. And before I even went into PA school, I'd already always had this inkling that there was more to healing and living a good life than just the physical health and the way that we were taught in the Western model. And I had taken my own initiative to learn about nutrition specifically and how food is medicine. And so I'd also done my yoga teacher training before starting PA school as well. And so I'd kind of dabbled already into this energetic spiritual space. But then when I learned about Cacao and the way that they were hosting these virtual group healing like sessions, basically, it inspired me in the way that I wanted to continue practicing and incorporate the healing work that I was learning about with this Eastern model. And so to kind of bridging the gap between these two worlds. And I loved how they created this container for people from all over the world to connect. And, Marlon, like you were saying, like we all are working through the same things. We're all going through these human experiences. It doesn't matter what culture you're from, it doesn't matter what your upbringing has been, we're all going through it and are here for a reason. And so I just got inspired with that, and it was beautiful to be able to have this group container while I was still going through school to see the different sides, and then in the creative way in myself, like to decide how I want to show up and how I want to serve. And so after I graduated school, I went into regenerative and functional medicine. So that was more stem cell therapy and peptides and IVs and functional medicine being more root cause healing and understanding that symptoms are not the problem. We have to look deeper into understanding what's actually going on with this person. Is it their diet? Are they not eating healthy foods? Are they not exercising? What's their stress level like? What's their relationships like? What's the relationship with themselves? Do they believe they can actually be healthy? There's so many different layers to the healing journey, and what's expressed then as symptoms and how that's a message. That's a way our body is communicating with us that there's something wrong, or something is going on. It doesn't necessarily mean it's wrong. But anyway, so then as I was going through this working as a PA, I just felt like there was something more that I was meant to do and help people with. And with my background and experience being exposed to all these different ways of life, I was like, I really think that there's something that I can create here to bridge, like to bring all of these different modalities together. And so I'm still in the process of figuring that out, but I started off with creating a program that's a detox program. And so we physically detoxify the body, from different toxins that we've been exposed to, and also energetically detoxifying, cord cutting. We do cacao ceremonies. We do, energetic cleansing, meditation, and different things like that, as well as the emotional release and understanding how when we're holding on to different emotions, we store that in our body, and we know that energy can't be created or destroyed, it just changes form. And so oftentimes a lot of physical disease is a manifestation of stuck, suppressed energy and emotions. And so really just holding a space for people to feel like they can release and they can just be, and they can be seen and heard, and like they matter. And that to me is really important. And I think, we're all so unique in the sense that we all have this unique energy, and yet we're all still one energy too. And I think at the end of the day, no matter what we decide to do with our life, whether we, become a doctor, we go into politics, or we decide to work on a farm, or whatever it is, we just want to be seen for who we are. And these stories that society puts on us of how we're supposed to be and how we're supposed to show up, we start to forget maybe, or we start to suppress parts of ourselves to fit in. And we all want to belong. We all want to be part of that tribe, because evolutionarily, if we weren't accepted, we were exiled, and we were literally dead. And so those codes are still within our DNA. And so we're starting to wake up to the way that that doesn't have to be that way anymore. And so I wanted to create this program to help people to become aware of the ways in which they haven't been true to themselves or have been suppressing those parts of them. And then also learn how to release those things and step into and embody the person that you are truly meant to be. And how when you start to honor that and accept that and love that and have confidence in that, and how you show up in the world, everything else starts to fall into place. The people that no longer serve you start to fall away, learning how to set healthy boundaries, learning how to take care of yourself. And it becomes a lot easier then when you love yourself and you care about taking care of yourself. It becomes easier to want to eat healthy and to want to, show up in the ways that make you feel fulfilled and happy and have healthy relationships and all these things, because you're like, I'm worth it. And I'm deserving of all of this. I'm deserving of having the life that I want and I dream of. And it's not selfish, it's a gift. And the more that I can show up as my best self, the more that I am then inherently healing and raising the vibration of everyone that comes in contact with me. And even collectively, without needing to come in contact with somebody. And so that's what I've really been passionate about. And I have my own journey with, suppressing my truth and different things. And I'm sure that that's inspired why I care so passionately about helping other people in this way. And also being a Leo, I want to be the center of attention, but in a healthy way too, and be that leader. And so just continuing to just get in alignment with who I truly am meant to be, and just figuring it out as I go. And so created this detox program, and then yeah, and then continuing to mentor and lead in different ways. And so that's a little bit more about me. And I'm happy to yeah, answer any questions or guide anyone in if that's something that you're called to also step into. And such a beautiful journey that we all get to be on.
Amazing. Thank you for sharing. It's so beautiful, like how unique everybody's story is, but the core factor, cacao weaving us together in this moment, that always like blows me away every time. Thank you so much for sharing. I am going to open up the space for any questions that, oh my gosh, we have so many Leos in here. How many more Leos? We got a lot of fire. Unfortunately, I can't contribute to the fire here. I'm all air and earth. Nice. Uh, nice. Okay, we got Leo Sun. Also, oh, Libra. I'm a Libra rising. All right. So if we have any questions, and this can be also from our panelists too, if you guys have questions for each other, just opening up the space for any Oh, nice. I'm just catching all the signs in the chat. We got we have Leo Sun, Libra Moon, and Rising, Leo in Ayurveda, but Virgo with Sag Rising, and Leo Rising, Aries. Oh my gosh, there's so much fire in here. Wow, Capricorn Sun, Aquarius. Nice. All right, yeah. So if there are any questions for our panelists, or if the panelists have any questions for each other, I would just love to open up the space right now to hold space for anything that's arising and go in a little bit more detail about anything that you're curious about. We have Virgo and Aries. How nice. Are those your sun signs? Who's who? My guess is Paola, are you a Virgo? Or yeah, okay. Me too. You're the Aries. That makes sense. I could feel that energy. Amazing.
Yes, I have a question
Yeah, go for it.
for Marion and Paola in Akasha, Colombia. Yes, for instance, I didn't talk about my Jaguar journey, which is the pilgrimage that is a long story of why it's called the Jaguar, but something guided by elders and realizing people really wanted direction and want to know the traditions of how the ancient ways of the cacao was used in Mesoamerica, Mexico, and Guatemala, which is so much information. um, and how there was gods and the time of the 15th century, the Catholic certain priests forbid cacao, for instance, to be drank, especially in the church and things like this. So many stories we are rescuing, and I'm wondering, in Colombia, how have you guys been navigating when people want to learn about anything traditional that was used with cacao and ritual? Or how do you guys, if you have anything colombiano or tradicional that you are careful to share in your circles with cacao? Yes.
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 Amazing. Can you hear me? Yes. And it's an amazing question, because there is a lot of conversations, about the ceremonies, if there was ceremonies back in the days, and but I think with cacao, with many other medicines, a lot of the traditions has been lost. Sometimes it's just changed through time. Even with the ones that still hold together, like for example in Colombia, it's very different drinking ayahuasca now than drinking ayahuasca 30 years ago. Everything changes, everything evolves. I think with same as us, with people bring something new to this and something that relates to the culture and to the zeitgeist, of the times. But we do have, there is still certain, same with all the medicines, they're always there. Sometimes most of the traditions have been lost, or the ways things were done are lost. And here in Colombia, for example, cacao comes from Amazon, and then went up and to other places in the world. But when you go down there and you find many species, many different types of cacao, different varieties. It's amazing the diversity that you find. But you don't find many people that talk about these deep traditions, like you mentioned. It was erased, it was forgotten, it was prohibited, and the same happens with the coca and all the others amazing medicines that we have with the jopo, with ortiga. But there is something beautiful that they stay there. They stay hidden, the little they this how can you say, like the little secrets, the little things that connect you to the medicine, they are
Waiting.
they're waiting you just to be remembered, right? So, for example, in our case in Colombia, a lot of the tradition was lost. But then when you started looking really like into details, and if you go to every single home in Colombia, you have the grandma, you have the elders waking up in the morning, and taking the cacao and going with this
Magic wing.
the magic the magic wand, and then you have the other part of the medicine, which is like the cup or the jar, and then you put the cacao there, and you see every grandma in the morning waking up, and let me tell you, like every single house in Colombia, we all have a jar like this, and it's just specifically for cacao, nothing else. You don't touch it, and it has this one is actually Mexican, but this one has this shape, which is resemble the womb of the women, right?
Mhm.
And then you put the cacao there, and every morning, our grandmas or our moms or our dads or the elder, they come, they put there, and they put the prayer, for the sons, for the people, to have the strength to find the wisdom, to have the clarity to go on their days, to connect to your heart. But then if you go to other cultures, for example, and you go to the Sierra Nevada, and we do work there as well, you find the Arhuacos, the Wiwas, the Kogis, and they have a different medicine. They use the coca, they use the hayo, and they use the poporo. And when you see the poporo is exactly the same thing. You have this bezel, that resembles the womb of the woman, and then they have the little stick, and what they do to pray, they go inside and they pray. It's a different thing, but at the same, it's the same. So it's what this represents, and I'm sure you have it. I like to, maybe to hear from you the experience, but same as with any medicine in the world, you always need the feminine part and the masculine part. You bring it together, and you make love. And when you bring this, you bring the beautiful things, you bring the information, you bring the wisdom, and then when it's ready, you drink it, and that happens with the coca in all South America and all the medicines in the world. So these little things, we have it every day. They're there. Sometimes we don't recognize it until, they come to you, and we call it hit you in the head. And then boom, you see it, you can connect to your heart. It's like, and now everything's clear. So the medicines are always there.
Yeah.
So we are, in the process also, like this is something that I discovered by myself, just mambiando, sitting down and drinking cacao until like, wow, it was medicine right in front of me. At the end, it doesn't matter what medicine it is. At the end, the whole thing is just connecting to your heart. Awakening that emotional dimension that we forgot. And in our elders and the tribes from the south, the tribes from the north, they're always about the same thing, deal with your emotional things. That's where everything, that's where the whole problem, the whole thing went a little bit wrong. Yeah. So, and all the medicines do exactly the same, they go right to the heart. With the cacao, it's a bit different because it brings a new dimension to it, because it's something that you can use every single day. That feeds you, that it gives you energy, that gives you the strength, and at the same time, it makes you happy. So, how cool is that? So that's what I really like about cacao in that sense. So I don't know if that answered your question, but I just a story I like to share. Thank you.
Yeah, gracias.
Sí.
It's interesting because the reason that the cups are so important is because I don't know if any of you have gone deep into the history of cacao, sharing it, but I'm going really deep. And when I think that I've learned enough, there's more to learn. It's because there is, certain writers, historians who wrote about it, investigators of archaeology and all of this, but really the reason that we know so much about how cacao was used and revered in the ancient times how it was the story of the spirits that they would pray. Everything is all in the cups that were found inside of the Lord's coffins, the cups that were found buried under the ground, the cups. Some of them are telling the story of creation. And I heard one of these stories from an elder, the story of creation with the hero twins, and how the doncella got pregnant from the cacao seed and created the hero twins, and the hero twins defeated the lords of the underworld. And for this, somehow the sacrifice, cacao was gifted after her skull turned into the seed. And this whole story, they're all in the cups. So it was like, by drinking cacao, they would tell stories, and they would write in the cups. Yeah. And specifically, like, most of the cups later, some were like made of beautiful stone, obsidian, jade, and other ones were clay, and then jicara. And recently, all the way in the last 1800s, jicaras. Yeah. And then all of the stories about how in the 40s a man would get paid, would get paid seeds. They really got paid with cacao seeds. And it was about 40 cacao seeds a day, a labor, you know. And then the moment, and I want to share all this with you guys, because you should have these stories to add to your sharing in circles, hopefully. Yeah, from Mexico to, at some point, the lords just said, only the lords, only the rich, only the nobles, the ones who had to transport goods from all of Central America. Yeah, the Mayans, the Aztecs, the tribes, all of the tribes into Guatemala, they could drink it. And then just the first line warriors. At some point, only they were allowed to drink it. And then the bishop, at some point in the 15th century, banning anybody to drink cacao, because of, maybe they thought it was like opening the heart and making people happy and making them crossing the line of, maybe it's an aphrodisiac. I'm not sure. I'm still onto that story of the bishop, Hernan, obviously from Spain and all of this, but prohibido de la iglesia. So it's really, really beautiful to learn from cacao itself, and not just the ancient ways, but also what it's giving us today. Like you're saying, now we are learning about the benefits, learning how it's feeling. We're weaving. We are weaving communities together, and she's showing us how to do it, and making the spaces for people to be able to feel their emotions, to, like Katie said, to be seen, to be recognized, to be individual. And so beautiful to bridge, to allow people the permission, like, hey, if you want to share cacao, she's for everybody. But also having education, because the plants and the intention, like you said, like when I teach in my Jaguar journeys, I say, you need this, and the peeled cacao, not on the stone anymore, but is it still ceremonial if you blend it in a blender? Well, if you're blending it in a blender, that's the moment you should pray. That's the moment you should bless it, because that's such an important part of the tradition, putting the, ceremonial cacao, that it's organic, that we know who the people cultivating are, taking care of the land, that have connection to earth. Ceremonial cacao when it's roasted over fire, fermented, taken care of, like, because there's a difference between the chocolate industry exploiting and using children as slaves and paying nothing for, and we don't know the process and all of that. So I think that's also something we always have to talk about. Yes, thank you for giving me this space. What is ceremonial cacao? What makes ceremonial cacao? And to teach people that when we're sharing it, hey, you know who's makes your cacao, you know where it's being sourced, all of that. That's what she's telling me. Remember, honor the people that touch the earth and work with the earth, and that it's being shared it responsibly and all of that. So thank you.
Thank you. Amazing. Amazing.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. And such important parts and topics to get into, especially since there is no industry standard around what ceremonial cacao is. Like we do have ceremonial grade matcha. There are really specific regulations and expectations around what that is, but this is still so emerging and so new. And there's so much like it seems like really personal and subjective uh, label that we currently have in the ceremonial cacao industry. So I think it's really important to more and more conversation, more and more voices around what is that? So what can we really clarify what these standards are and bring into our consciousness? I feel like cacao is such a beautiful space and a gateway into real conscious communion too. Like, because it doesn't just start, it doesn't just stop with ceremonial cacao. Like, where is all of your food coming from? Do you actually know how your food grows? Like, what? I mean, I think, I don't know, I was like 22 for the first time when I understood, like, knew what a cacao pod looked like, like, and chocolate saturated everywhere. But how much do we really understand? Like, I think a couple, it was another one, a date. I was like, wait a second. I don't think I know where do dates come from? Like opening the door and exploring, like, how much do I really know about what I'm connecting with and in my body and the earth and opening up to bigger sourcing. Because then you open more doors, you go down more rabbit holes, you know more things, you see more stuff. You're like, ooh, fashion industry, ooh, like all these other areas that could really use some more conscious awareness around who's behind all of this, why am I choosing this, and where is it really coming from. I would love to open the space for any more questions that are here. Um, Again, also from our panelists or from any of our guests that are here as well.
Can I just share something?
Yeah, absolutely.
Just want to acknowledge that it's a new moon in Taurus today, which is
Yeah.
very much like a cacao. It's a cacao moon because Taurus is like an earth sign and it's all about pleasure and the earth, like mud. I think of mud and just beauty and love. And so I just wanted to call that in, like, the new moons are a good time to set intentions, right? So it's like taking a moment and like today at some point and bringing in your intention for the land, for cacao, for what you want to call into your life, the abundance, um, pleasure, beauty, all those things. So I just wanted to, it's Taurus is like, it's ruled by Venus, but it's also kind of earth. So it's just like a very cacao sign for me. Yeah. So yeah.
Oh, thank you for bringing that in. I love that.
Mhm.
Yeah, maybe at the end I'll call you in for a closing with a little bit of intention setting as we close the space.
Can I can I
Yeah,
share? Yeah.
absolutely.
I just want to share that those guitars behind you, Mosh, look just like mine. So.
Yeah, it says.
No. Yeah, I love what was just brought up about how cacao, the way cacao came into my life and how I learned to work with it was somebody had just mentioned that it's like the gateway, right? It's um I was working with clients doing psychedelic therapy with ketamine and other medicines, and I was working for one of the big box companies online, and having a background with plant medicine and my own healing journey, quickly learned that the one thing that's missing is that, like, this is nothing more than a doctor's appointment. You know, there was no ceremony to all of this. And I had been drinking cacao. It had been a part of my life and using it as the ultimate integration tool, as I call it. And you know, it's a one thing I found is it's a way to live an intentional life, right? I think Marlon brought up that you can drink it every day, right? So we're doing these big plant medicine ceremonies and journeys, and we're working with these other plants and doing diets and all of these things. And but it's a way, and what I've been teaching my clients is it's a way to sit every day, right? It's a way to bring a medicine in that has this spirit behind it when you're working with medicines that maybe don't have the spirit behind it. So taking that moment every day to create ceremony every morning, right? You're having your ritual, you're setting your intentions, and it's causing us to live a more intentional life. And now we're taking these quiet moment for ourselves, and now we're starting to be more mindful of where our food comes from, what's being put into our bodies, you know, what's coming out of our bodies, the words that we choose, and the way we're treating other people. So yeah, I just wanted to touch on that, that it was, um, I love the aspect of cacao in that you can work with her every single day and have this kind of I like to picture this ally just sitting on my shoulder every day that I can turn to for some answers or some direction. But yeah, I wanted to add I love that you brought up that it's this spirit, this medicine that we can work with and bring it along with us every day as we're integrating some of our bigger um, journeys or ceremonies. Um, it's really just, for me, it's keeping me the devotion alive, right? The discipline, the showing up for myself every day and having that moment for myself every day. And also a little bit of an aspect of accountability, you know, you don't want to let her down as well. So um, there's just so much medicine that she gives. So I just want to add my 2 cents. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing and sharing
Yeah.
your voice and your perspective. Yeah, absolutely. And the thing that I was recording earlier before this call, doing a lot of research on the physiological aspects of how cacao works in the body. So that podcast episode will come out later. But the thing that I found super fascinating is that theobromine in cacao actually helps to support a regular heartbeat, and it helps to regulate the heart coherence essentially. And now I've coming off of a Dr. Joe Dispenza retreat. I was at the advanced week long last week, and he's all about the science behind meditation and quantum physics and achieving brain and heart coherence. And then as I was like researching for this podcast episode and looking into it deeper, I was like, wait a second, this plant, like physically, biologically, helps our body to come into, like, it primes the state for heart coherence. And as our heart is becoming more coherent, becoming more relaxed, becoming more uh, relaxed and focused, awake, alert, but from a receptive space, releasing the oxytocin. So now we're able to connect more. There's more trust beginning to flow. The serotonin's beginning to flow. All the raw materials and the building blocks we need to begin to open up for a deeper capacity to love, and then how it supports the brain and the heart, specifically those two together. And when we optimize those states of consciousness within our body, heart as the portal, brain as the portal, bridging the heart to the brain, to the pineal gland, and then what is serotonin a few steps away from, when we just change it a little bit more, it becomes the spirit molecule, becomes DMT, and that's the gateway into the ultimate realm of consciousness, of oneness, of the gamma brainwave states where we bridge third dimension to the fifth dimension. So it's like I was sitting there like, damn, this little plant, this chocolate, what? I know you can go far with cacao, but she's like essentially priming our bodies physiologically to be in the most receptive state to experience divine union, divine connection, deep love, deep intimacy. So I was really excited about that this morning. I was like, this is crazy. And of course, the plant consciousness emerging at this time, there's so much chocolate everywhere too. Exactly. Food of the gods. Um, she's here because humanity needs some help. Chocolate can help. Cacao can help. Just want to open up the space for any more reflections or questions. Yeah, go for it, Julie.
Hi. I just wanted to first say thank you to everybody for joining today and sharing like your experiences and knowledge. Like that was incredible. And um, this is the second time in my life that I've had the honor of drinking the cacao with the people who have made it. So today I was drinking the Akasha cacao. And so Angela, when you had your blessing earlier and we're talking about, really thinking about the people who had their hands on our cacao, and I was like, oh, I'm looking at them. This is amazing. So thank you for that. Like it really does just promote so much connection. I guess my it might be more of a comment than a question today, but I'm feeling like bridging is just this huge theme in everybody's talks today, because we have like Alexandra, the bridging of the serotonin to the DMT and like taking us from 3D to 5D. But then Anjali, I'm not sure if I'm saying it right. I'm sorry. Like that bridging of, the indigenous, like deep historical culture, which I find the cup thing absolutely fascinating. Like I want to dig into like all that archaeology, like that just sounds amazing. With like the new age movements and how we honor those traditions, but like bring it into the new age, right? And to Western cultures. And I think you had said something in your podcast where it was, you believe that cacao can connect us to our ancestors regardless of our lineages. And I just loved that so much because it felt like it opened it up to like, okay, this is okay. I don't have to be like indigenously like South American, Central American, Mexican. Like I still feel that deep connection. And it's just such a beautiful thing that it is like spreading through the world. And I don't know if Masha and Tiger would like to comment maybe on how they find the cacao helps with like the family constellations, because again, like that's related to that bridging of the ancestry and whatnot. But anyway, I just feel bridging today. You guys are great. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your share and your question.
Yeah, I can, yeah, thank you. That's so cool that you were drinking the Akasha cacao. So to be honest, we haven't even really actually done cacao with family constellations yet together. Like we're gonna in the future, we do cacao ceremonies and we do family constellation workshops. And when we were doing our training for the facility for family constellations, we were actually like purposely not drinking cacao for a while because we wanted to make sure like, we didn't want to interfere. We wanted to just show up. But we've been drinking it and then going, to workshops, leading workshops, and it's been amazing. And it's actually so fun, family constellations, because you can bring it in. We've been bringing it into cacao ceremonies, like different exercises. Like it doesn't have to be just family. Like we were exploring with astrology and representing like, what are you releasing on this full moon? And so with the cacao, you're just like so much more connected, right? You're just more open and you're ready and more receptive for the messages to come through, like you're already embodied. So in family constellations, you're just you're becoming a signal, right? You're ultimately like receiving information from the collective, the consciousness. And so with cacao, you're just like, you're out of your head, you know, and you're in the heart, and it just deepens the experience. And yeah, it can only add to it, you know. And but I also like to say family constellations is powerful just on its own, you know. So it's like just bringing it in through a weekend is just, we're going to end it with a ceremony, for example. You know, we're going to introduce cacao Saturday morning, where we'll teach people how to work with it and how to make it, as like a, just to begin our day, but then like end the weekend with cacao, because it's such a beautiful way to close the circle, right? Close the container and open a container. It was hard to, like, you know, do we do it at the beginning? Do we do it at the end? Do we do it all day? No. I hope that answers. But yeah, it's cacao in general is just like a beautiful resource for working with any modality, right? There's people that do cacao and breath work, cacao and sound, cacao and everything. So and family constellations goes really deep, right? It does. And so it allows again a softening, right? Like a more resource, feeling held, right? Sometimes we like to say that when you're drinking cacao, it's like a hug in a mug, right? So it's like you're being held by mama cacao, and yeah, that's what it feels like, I think, in circle. Yeah.
I'm just going to add really quick to what you said with you guys' permission. Cacao as an ally, the reason that, I mean, it amplifies emotion. I know that every cacao in different regions, as I've been have the privilege of being able to taste all kinds of cacaos here in Guatemala from different regions, and how some have different elements and benefits more than others. I'm sure that that's a process that we're going to be able to see how much theobroma, how much caffeine in the theobroma, and all of that. But the reason that it's really how you were talking about the bridging, the weaving, the of the third eye. I just had an elder the other day in a ceremony explain to us about being in symbiosis with Earth, and how there's like 5 states to get to the symbiosis, and I guess to get like that juice of the third eye, the the pineal gland excreting, which only happens when we meditate, when we sleep, dream, born or die, right? Or with medicines like ayahuasca, but also with cacao, because it's helping us detox that, and we get to access that. And the problem that people, especially today, in my opinion, is attention span. Or why would they use it for conversations? Because we open up, we bridge together, we're present. So we're sitting with the medicine. It's helping us to be present and receive. And through that, creating these like spaces where the people could really take advantage of whatever it is they want to focus on. Like Masha, if you're gonna open up the ceremony, for sure, open it up with cacao, close it up with cacao, give the people the opportunity to be present, because when we're too in the mind, it's in balance, and we're thinking about the future, the past, or this or that or whatever, and you doesn't matter what you practice, if you're not present, you know what is the point? And I think that that's the biggest, most beautiful thing about cacao, is she's showing us the present moment, and thank you, Julie, for listening to my podcast. And yeah, remember, all of the elements, like this elder says to us, are our ancestors. The elements are really our abuelos, abuelo fuego, grandmother water, grandmother cacao. She's an ancient, old, wise abuela. So, thank you. Yeah, that's what I want to say.
I have a question for you. Angeli, about this. You might not have an answer for this, but when are you writing your book or your blog posts about the things you're learning? Because I would love to, you know.
Yeah, thank you. Jaguar Journey / Cacao Sacred Arts.
Uh-huh.
It's something that is private for me. So I'm not like, because I do post things that are very intimate, and I have my story, and I only created this after 10 years of working with certain elders and being a translator and interpreter. And when he passed away, specifically one elder, bless his heart, told me don't let his fire ever turn out. And I felt like I had the right to begin teaching or transmitting what I have learned. And I'm still integrating and remembering, because a lot of times you're interpreting and you don't get to receive what the people who are listening, because you're attentive to like, what are they trying to say? How do I translate that? And all of these elders with specifically the Mayan elders in the fire are channeling the fire, and it is this beautiful poetry. And I also believe that cacao is also something that activates the voice and helps us to use language as poetry. And that's why it was always used as communication. So yeah, my mentorships with people who want to serve cacao or just want to be mentored to feel like happy and give more, offer more to their communities, your circles that you're leading, is beautiful to learn about traditions, because I also do the moon dance, which is totally
I'm a
Nahuatl.
moon dancer too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I was raised in Nevada with Apaches, who are also different in the way that they do things. And only until there's certain initiations, I will, until I was shown how to use my chanupa. I didn't use my chanupa, even though I had received it, because I didn't know how to use it. I didn't know the traditions. I didn't know the songs. So there's things that are given to you as gifts. And then there's like reclaiming tradition, which comes from European paganism. And we, cacao, as we, work with our ancestors, she's also your ancestor. And she's like, this teachings is teaching us, you got to pray to your ancestors too. Where'd they come from? Where's their stories? Where's their songs? What herbs did they work with? For everybody, yeah, because we're walking with our ancestors. Doesn't matter, we're all really indigenous to the earth, and we have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of ancestors. And Paolo, I'm sure you will working with ayahuasca or jopo and all these, you can see the eyes of your ancestors sometimes if you work with those kind of medicines. Yeah. So I'm just going to finish with the elder the other day told me cacao is a tool to help us access, to skip the levels and go from 1D to 5D and symbiosis with earth. And that is a powerful tool. And it is to be used responsibly and really see it as sacred, and know that people are opening up and can be vulnerable and all of that. So it's our job also to be responsible, passionate, compassionate, and smart, intelligent guides who are being guided by the medicine, listening, getting out of the way and listening to her. So again, thank you. Did I answer your question?
I think so. Yeah, I just was complimenting on that you have a very unique experience with cacao. Like the wisdom that you hold is very cool.
Thank you, and welcome to Atitlan, everybody. Guatemala, welcome.
We'll definitely have to have some sort of larger event where everybody comes together and this beautiful weaving. And anchoring in these beautiful frequencies and connection and collaboration. I want to be mindful of everybody's time, and I know we've been on here for a little bit. I do. I just want to feel how are our panelists for time? Are you like okay, a little bit more? Yeah,
I have to leave soon.
you have to leave soon. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I just want to. I actually wanted to ask you, Katie, if you wanted to answer this question. Uh, what kind of results have you seen working with your clients and like the functional medicine and stem cell, all that stuff that you're doing in this more like Western based um, world realm? What kind of results you're seeing there?
I feel like it's a bit of a hard question to answer because there's so many different things. There's so many different modalities that I use, and it depends on like every person's so unique and so different. So it really just depends. Do you want me to speak on like what stem cells are doing, what my program's doing, like what maybe
Why
a
don't you
little bit?
share what your program's doing, or maybe how like uh, Cacao is helping in the detoxification program?
Yeah.
Because you use it in your detox program, right?
So I offer if people want to use cacao when we do cacao ceremony. Not everybody has cacao or uses it. Some people use tea, some people don't have a drink. We do so the group program's 3 months, and so each month we focus on different things, but we do weave in the physical, the mental, and the emotional, spiritual. And so cacao is one part of it. I've actually been thinking about doing more consistent cacao ceremonies within it. So that way we're continuing to let the cacao itself also do this opening, healing benefit. But we haven't gone too deep into it yet with that. But I can speak on other results that people are getting from the program. So the most common thing is improved bowel movements. I think that that's probably related to the releasing of letting go of things we're holding on to. And so, like on an energetic level, when we're not letting that ish go, letting that shit go, then we're holding it in. And so I find that the more we're like tapping into our bodies and releasing and allowing, that's something. We also do a parasite cleanse as well to detoxify and release things that are lower vibrational that can be holding on to heavy metals, different mold, toxins, pathogens, things like that, and those things that are holding down our vibration. The better bowel movements, also clearer skin, more vibrant, bright, glowing skin. And I think that's also a combination of the detoxification process of releasing toxins. And also in conjunction with that, just stepping into our truth and embodying. And, we all get that glow when we're feeling confident and in tune with ourselves. And then additionally, just feeling self-assured, like feeling confident in who we are and how we can show up in relationships and work in our life, and not feeling like we're going through the motions, and we're actually feeling now more connected to the way that we show up and the things that we do. And so I've heard that as well as a common thing. um, on the physical side of the stem cell therapy and things that I do, I work with a variety of patients, but the most common conditions that I'll see patients for include autoimmune disease as well as neurodegenerative diseases, orthopedic injuries. So on the neurodegenerative side of things, we think of MS, ALS, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's. And with that, I've seen improvement in movement, walking. People who have MS, a lot of their main issues are in movement and walking and stability. So improvement in that, also cognition improvement, as well as also digestion as well, and better bladder and bowel control. Additionally, with orthopedics, so if it's a joint issue or like a tear of the ligaments in the knees, for example, being able to walk properly again and actually go out and play sports again that they might not have been able to because of this injury. or, reduced pain and swelling of joints is a big one. And I also find that, no matter what the condition is that somebody is mainly struggling with, I find a just overall sense of vitality improvement and just better ability to cope with stress in the environment. And so that's what goes for both stem cell therapy and functional medicine and the holistic program that I offer. Just like this building this resiliency and tolerance to life. And I find that it's not so much what we're exposed to. I think I used to focus more on, oh, let's reduce all the exposure to toxins and all these things, but we have this amazing capacity in our body to heal itself and to not be affected as much by this external world. So building that inner resiliency within your body to stress, like supporting your body's natural ability to open up drainage pathways, detoxify, heal your immune system, like all of these things, it's like you're building that inner strength, that inner fire, that inner resiliency that no matter what you are exposed to, whether it is a environmental toxin or a stressful situation or, somebody who's maybe a narcissistic or wants to put you down, like it doesn't matter because you are solid within yourself and you've done the things to promote that tolerance and that resiliency to the external world that like you are almost untouchable. And so it's like a huge part of it. So often, as we all know, we're all drinking this cacao and connecting with the elements and the spirit of cacao. And, the more that we can just tune in with ourselves, like it doesn't really matter about this external world as much because we're creating it, we're alchemizing whatever is coming our way.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for that answer. And I'm going to keep you on there as we move into our closing round. If you just want to share the best way for people to contact you, to reach out to you, to learn more about your program and any other offerings that you have at this time. And yeah, if you want to drop it in the chat too, I'll make sure I'll add it into the captions.
Absolutely. So the best way to contact me would be through Instagram. So right now my Instagram handle is by Catherine with a C, Catherine Ruffino, and that can be in the show notes for ease. And then I also have a YouTube channel called Purely Seen. And so I have a cooking show called Katie in the Kitchen, and it's an interview series where I cook with people and interview them. It's really fun, and we connect with food in different ways. And so I have that on YouTube as a playlist on my channel, Purely Seen. And then I also do TikTok lives where I sing. And singing has been a really beautiful, like fun way for me to express myself and my voice. And it's very fun and soothing and built a little community now the last like 4 or 5 months that I've been doing it. And so that's Sunnyside KT is for that. And I'm continuing to put out new programs. If you're interested in doing the detox program right now, I'm offering it as a do-it-yourself version. And then I'm going to be offering a live, followed congruent live. I don't know how to say that. Not evergreen version. We all do it live together. Hopefully in the next couple of months after some of my travel slows down. So if you like the not in person, if you like the more consistent community connecting part, that's where we'll be doing it more there. So yeah, just message me on Instagram and I can send you. I have a mini detox training. It's free and it just kind of gets you started on this path of like where if I wanted to start today, what can I do to help support myself? And then that can go more into the program as well.
Amazing. Thank you so much. And I want to congratulate you for what was it? You had a
Oh,
breakthrough, TikTok breakthrough.
yeah, I had 100,000 likes on my last TikTok live that I did. And I go live most nights and I have the most amazing little community that I've built now. And I didn't even think that this would be something that would start to get traction. But I just was sharing from my heart and wanted to share my gift of singing. And now I've got these little people that come on, not little people, I have these real people who come on, but they feel so little because it's like on my screen. And they come on and they like it and they'll send gifts and different things. And so I have a couple in there that will like you have to like just tap the button or tap the screen and you just you can give as many likes as you want on a live. And so like everybody's come together and like, let's get Katie the most likes possible. So it's really sweet. And then that just helps with the algorithm for TikTok to push it out to more people. And it's really fun. I enjoy it. So yeah.
Congratulations. So fun. I have
Thanks.
to tune in now. I don't have TikTok, but I need to hear your singing
Wow.
voice at some point.
Yeah. Well, I'm happy to share it.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna beam over to Paola and Marlon if you want to share some closing thoughts and the best way for people to contact you, to try your delicious cacao, to try your coffee, to visit you, to learn from your permaculture school.
Yeah, I wanna first of all say thanks, for this amazing, amazing meetings. Have my mochila full of new and amazing things and learning from all of you. Really, really grateful for this opportunity. Yeah, thank you for being there to listen to us, what we had to share with you. Something come to this moment, it's like the coincidence, the moment that we are here connected through cacao, but also listening little things about, the jaguar path. Our logo is a jaguar. Also, I saw a tiger with a bracelet. I have the same bracelet that I used it for a long, long time. In the eyes of our jaguar was kind of the resemblance of the eyes of the bracelet. That was amazing to see. And Julie also drinking our cacao. Like so many coincidences, amazing how I feel really, really connected with everybody. It's like the perfect timing, perfect day, like Taurus, and I don't remember more about it, but I feel like the energy of the day is beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, wanna say something?
Yes, yeah, just to express my gratitude to this meeting. It's been amazing to get to know you a little bit and allow myself, to be surprised and curious about all the things that you guys are doing, how we all connected, and the idea, just like Katie said at the beginning, is to really trust ourselves, to connect to our heart, that we're beautiful, that we are sons and daughters of nature, of this the great spirit, that we deserve to be happy. It's a right to be here and to enjoy it. And just thank you very much to all of you for holding space and holding the medicine, to sharing it in any way. I don't think you have to be, like connected directly to a culture or a specific tradition to share it. I think we all bring something that is needed, that is important. We all bring something beautiful, and that's what's really important. I guess that you can contact us to our Instagram, Akasha Ceremonial Cacao.
We just launched also our website.
Our new website is on, like we're really opening doors in the States. We also have programs here at the farm for learning how to discover different aspects of the cacao. It could be the ceremonial part, or it could be the how to live in a farm, how to grow cacao, all the technical and all the other aspects of cacao.
What is the website?
Akasha Ceremonial Cacao, akashacacao.com. We can send you the link. Thank you, guys.
Oh,
Very grateful for this beautiful day.
thank you. Thank you so much for sharing. And I'm going to throw the promo code in the chat as well. Did I put it in there? Marlon and Paola very graciously offered a 10% off their cacao through April with code Alexandra through the Conversations with Cacao community here. So definitely try their cacao. It is beautiful and magical and amazing. So thank you both so
Yeah.
much for being here and
Yeah.
sharing. And I'll make sure to put all your information in the show notes as well. And Jolie, if you have any closing thoughts and the best way to contact you if people have more questions and anything that you're offering at this time or want to share.
Yes, thank you again. Maldios, as we say here, gratitude, gracias, for inviting me as well, and for your work, Alessandra. I want to honor you. It's beautiful. This conversations with Cacao, perfect. Weaver, Spider Woman, weaving, tejiendo together. And yes, so Jaguar Journey .sacredart/cacao, I think, is my pilgrimage, me as a storyteller, as a bridge. I have some beautiful things that are about to be shared on there, like the Wayeb tour, which was something that I organized, a beautiful video that you get to see a window to the work that I do, guiding people on a pilgrimage to Mayan lands to see elders and celebrating what was the end of the Mayan calendar. That's exciting. I think in the next days, beautiful videos coming out / documentary. And I also have a writing blog. Yes. What is that called? Political Ideas by a Gypsy Anarchist. I have a YouTube channel, Anjali Mar. I'm also a singer, songwriter, and hopefully producing, and an artist page because I am beyond everything an artist, dancing, tribal fusion belly dance, performing a little bit here and there. So the other page is basically that. And then I have a project called Ishavel Akabal, ishavel.akabal. That's my Maya Nawal, where I work with weaver collectives designing clothes from Guatemala. And this is a project that helps uh, a collective of women by sourcing their textiles, and I make modern new things. You can see the work, mostly vests, some belts that I'm making for men and women, and that's a beautiful, beautiful project I've been working on for 8 years. Through my link, you could go to also try the cacao that I have helped to produce and moderate, called the Kazamal project, and you can order it or talk to me about being a distributor. I think that it's beautiful to try many beautiful cacaos. I'm sure the Colombian one of Akasha would love to try. I'm sure it's generational from the lands. Every land has its own, you know, taste and spirit and aroma and all of that. So um, yes. So that's it. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you.
Amazing. I can't wait to check out your blog. I didn't know that you had. I'm gonna do a deep dive into that. Thank you. Thank you for sharing and being here. And Masha, let's get you on the spotlight here. And any last closing thoughts and your event and all the things that you want to share.
Yeah, thank you again for bringing us together. I think this is the beautiful part about Cacao, right? Is that it brings us together and creates conversations like what your name your podcast. But it really is, it creates time for it, right? And so it's so beautiful. Thank you. I just realized that like my first cacao ceremony experience, like really the first one was actually in Colombia when I was in Colombia. Marlon, so I have the story of it on my website and about cacao. So yeah, my website is freemasha.com. It's the same website that I created when I was in art school. It used to be my design portfolio, and through my journey, changed it to my coaching, my healing work, and I have sort of like the subscription one-on-one way to work with me through which I call the Embodied Soul Journey. And we weave in all the different modalities that I work with, family constellation, somatic healing. It's a very intuitive way of working. It really depends on like the intention of whatever the people are coming with and whatever they want to call into their life, and kind of removing the blocks. And I'm also doing astrology readings now, and do a lot of in-person events up here in upstate New York. Hoping to come back to New York City once in a while as well. I used to, before we moved here, had some events in there in New Jersey. And I'm planning on coming back online, like growing an online community as well. So that's happening soon. I have this vision for a while now of creating like a 6-week program or 3-month program for living intentionally with cacao, that Tiger and I will probably do together. And yeah, but next weekend, it's like next weekend, Friday is our retreat. It's called Constellations for Your Heart. So yeah, it's cacao and family constellations. And we're for anyone that doesn't know constellations, it's like this beautiful, it's really amazing in a group. It's the best. You can do it one-on-one, but there's something really magical that happens. So we're excited. It's going to be our first one. I've had visions of doing retreats, and so I hope to go to Guatemala and visit you and like do retreats there, because I went there once back in 2006, believe it or not, and I've been wanting to go back ever since. Maybe it was 2008, and I just haven't. So it's time. Anything else? Yeah, I have, if you go to my website, oh, I have a newsletter. So if anybody wants to ever sign up, I send out like weekly things. Creating content has been part of my journey of like learning to express my voice and my truth, my wisdom. And so it's like this part of the journey. So you can sign up through my website, I think. You might even have a link actually for that. Yeah, life's a journey, and cacao is an amazing ally to have on this journey. So I'm just grateful to be here. Really grateful for cacao. So grateful for cacao. So thank you. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And can I, is the 5% off Keith's cacao, is that still valid? All right, I'll drop that in the chat. And we have a free Masha promo code for 5% off Keith's cacao if you want to try Keith's cacao.
Pre-order. Yeah, that's the cacao that we drink. That's the cacao that I was introduced to. It was on the altar for a whole week in Colombia before we drank it. So it's, yeah, love it.
So beautiful. Well, I want to thank you all so, 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 so much. Every one of you personally for being here, for listening, for our guests here, for trusting me, for trusting the space, for saying yes to the DM that I reached out to you on Instagram. Like, do you want to be on my podcast? So thank you for saying yes. Thank you for coming here today and just beginning to bring more lucidity, more consciousness to our earth, to our connections, to what conversations can look like, to heart-centered community, and just weaving a global network of people, because it's like every single episode, every single panel, I'm like, oh man, there's more, if you want to go to India, you got a cacao sister there. You want to go to Colombia, you got a beautiful Akasha cacao that will hold you and welcome you. You want to go to Guatemala, you got a sister there. And just all over New York. Come to New York. Please bring your light energy. We need it. And Florida anchoring in that light. So it's just creating a web all over the globe, and reach out to these amazing people, reach out to these beautiful, beautiful souls doing this amazing work on our planet at this time. And as we always do, I just want to close the space, anchoring in the energy. Just for purpose of time, I think I will steal your idea, Masha, and then plant in the seed. We'll do the new moon in this closing. All right, beautiful. Thanks for the prompt. So I'll use the cheat sheet here. What seeds of creation am I planting on this moon? And what do I want to see bloom in my life? So as we begin to close this space together, close our time here, feeling all of the energy of our guests, feeling the energy of cacao, feeling the energy of everybody present, everybody who did listen to this, everybody who will listen to this, and feeling this web of light beginning to grow, and allowing our hands to come to our heart if it feels resonant, or to our body, opening up to receiving more flow, and really becoming conscious, this point of consciousness where we get to choose how we show up in our life, how we express, using the fertility of this beautiful new moon, the darkness of the moon sitting beneath the soil. What are we ready to sprout? How are we tending to our soils and the importance of the beauty of the soils? And just feeling ourselves soaking up everything that we need to support our dreams, everything that we need to support our voice, everything we need to support our bodies, our connections, our relationships, our mind, our spirit, our dreams, to support our future ancestors and our past ancestors, and to be a really present, loving citizen of this earth. Allowing another deep breath in, exhaling out as we feel this element connecting, giving back to the space around us. As we give thanks to all of the elements, the element of the earth, the element of air, the element of water, and the element of fire, the element of ether that connects all things known and unknown. Giving thanks to the keepers of Cacao, giving thanks to the energy of Ish Cacao herself, the consciousness of Cacao, giving thanks to every single person who has tended to Cacao, tended to the lands, tended to the wisdom, kept this wisdom, tended to the fires to keep this wisdom alive, and all of the people who will do it in the future. Blessing all of them. May they know themselves as love. May they know themselves as seen. May they feel themselves as held and see themselves as a part of this beautiful web of life. And may you know yourself as loved. May you see yourself as love. May you feel yourself as held. And may you feel the importance in this web of life that we all create and are co-creating at this time. So many blessings to each and every one of you, knowing that it is done, it is done, it is done. And it is fun, it is fun, it is fun. Aho.
Oh.